Chapter 5, Problem 2. This is exercise 5.5 in your text. And let's go through and read carefully what they tell us. Now, I know this is tough for guys because we tend not to like to read the map before we get lost, but we're going to try to do it. So let's take a look. They tell us for this Hermann Corporation, they have selling price of $90 per unit. They have variable expenses of $63 per unit and a contribution margin of $27. And they were kind enough to give us the percentages to save us the trouble. So, fixed expenses are $30,000 per month. The company is selling 2,000 units per month. Now they want to know, how will the operating income change if the budget increases by $5,000 because of advertising? Advertising is usually a fixed expense because it doesn't vary unless the advertising is something like a coupon that you send in with each sale. But generally, like newspaper advertising or television advertising, that's a fixed expense. And monthly sales will increase by $9,000. Well, I got to tell you, I don't have to do the rest of this problem. And neither do you. Because if you're clever, you will look at the following numbers. You will say, let's see, 30% of every sale is contribution margin. So if I increase my sales by $9,000, that means I've increased my contribution margin by $2,700. In other words, I can spend $5,000 to get $2,700 more. But I'm lazy. I'm not supposed to show you the shortcut. I'm supposed to say, oh no, you want to do it the long way. So I'll make pretend that's true. And I'm not doing it out of the goodness of my heart, and I'm doing it because they pay me to do this. Okay, how much will net operating income increase or decrease if the company uses better components that increase the variable expense by $2 per unit and increase the sales by 10%. Now we're changing the contribution margin because we've increased the variable expense and we've increased the selling price. To do that, we're going to have to figure out what to do. But that's the next part of the problem. Let's take a look at the first part of the problem, making pretend we don't already know the answer. Okay? So making pretend that we don't know the answer, let's fill in this table. Well, the current sales, let me find my black pen. Current sales, and they give us that, is they sold 2,000 units at $90 per unit, so that's $180,000. You see where I got that? It was $90 per unit times 2,000. 90 times 2,000. $90, 2,000 units. And the variable expenses on that was $63 per unit times 20,000 units, or 2,000 units, excuse me. So that's $126,000. We'll do the subtraction. That's $54,000. Our fixed expenses are given to us at $30,000. So our net operating income is $24,000. Now let's suppose we go ahead with this boneheaded idea from the folks in advertising and increase our sales by $9,000, because that's what they told us. We're going to spend $5,000 and increase our sales by $9,000. So if we increase our sales by $9,000, that means we're going to sell 10% more units. Okay, 9,000 would be, or 100 more units rather, excuse me. 100 times 90 would be 9,000. But our variable expenses have to go up, and our contribution margin will go up. So we're going to sell 100 more units. So our sales go from 180,000 to 189,000. Selling those extra units, we have to buy them or make them. So that's 100 additional units. And what was that, $63 a unit? So that increases from 126 to 132,300. Our contribution margin, do the subtraction, 56,700. Our fixed expenses are still 30,000, but we've added that advertising, so now our fixed expenses have gone up to 35,000. So our net operating income is now 21,700. Looking at this incrementally, looking at just the difference, we have $9,000 difference in sales. We have $6,300 difference in variable expenses. Our contribution margin, we have a $2,700 difference. Our fixed expenses go up $5,000. And our net operating income went down $2,300. So it was 24. It is now 21.7. So that's basically what we did, is we said, look, we can spend $5,000 more to make $2,700. And I know that sounds really stupid right now. Nobody would ever do that right now. But it happens every day, because people don't consider the fact that that $9,000 is split between contribution margin and variable cost. As a matter of fact, it's a 70-30 split. 70 variable cost, 30 contribution margin. So, the next thing it asks us to do, and this is question 2, refer to the original data. How much will net operating income increase or decrease if we use higher quality components? So our variable cost will go up $2, but our sales will go up by 10%. So the unit price per sale will go up 10%, and our variable cost will go up by $2. So let's take a look at this. We're increasing our cost by 10%. That's the 1.1, 10%, because we have to pay the whole cost plus 10%. So we multiply that, or you could just add 10% per unit. I like to do it this way, it's easier. 2,000 units, each unit is going to cost us 110% more. Because that's what they tell us. We're going to increase the units by $2 per unit, right? So the variable expenses are going to go up by $2. So let's take a look. So we have 2,000 units. I don't like the way they're doing this, but I see the way it works. So with the higher quality components, we're increasing our cost by $2 per unit, and we're increasing our sales by $10 per unit. So it's 2,000 times 10%, and we're increasing our contribution margin decreasing our contribution margin from 27 to 25. So our contribution margin, and looking just at the contribution margin, because that's what this is, our contribution margin was 27. It's now 25. We're increasing our sales 10%, so it's 110%, 1.1 of the 2,000. So they just put it that way. I don't particularly like that method, but yeah, I guess you can see it just as well. So our new contribution margin is 55,000. Our old contribution margin, and we had this from before, was 54,000. So the change in contribution margin is plus 1,000. So I would do this. The other way you could do that is to figure out the cost of 10% more with the different contribution margin, and you come up with the same exact number. So there are lots of other ways you can do this. I tend to like to go the easiest way, and this turns out to be just that way.